Hello. So, today we've got some more War of the Roses. Today I've been joined by Robin, who has brought his Yorkists, who are going to be playing my Yorkists, but the Neville faction. And we're going to be having a smallish game, and it's basically going to be a bit of a land dispute between John Neville, the Earl of Northumberland and Marquis Montagu, and the Duke of Suffolk. Now, both of them have brought a supporter along. Montagu has brought along Thomas Neville, who is the bastard of Falkenberg, and the Duke of Suffolk has brought along Boucher, the Earl of Essex. So we are using the adapted Hail Caesar rules, which I've been using for the last few games. And the scenario is pretty straightforward. It's effectively a take and hold. And the main objective is this hill in the middle with those supplies at the top of it, just to denote where the control point is. That is going to be worth 4 victory points at the end of the game. This is going to be a 6-turn game. There are 2 more objectives on the battlefield. There is one here, which is the pile of logs, which is worth 1 victory point at the end of the game on the approach to the hill that side. And there is this rather unsensible barricade in the middle of a road, which is exactly the same distance as the pile of logs is on the other side. That's also worth 1 victory point at the end of the game. There will also be 1 victory point awarded at the end of the game for each enemy unit that is shaken or destroyed. Now, just for clarity, shaken units can hold objectives. However, when looking at objectives and they're contested, a shaken unit will always be subservient to a unshaken unit. So if there's 2 shaken units there holding an objective and there's 1 enemy unit, then the 1 enemy unit will still hold it. The battlefield is a pretty straightforward setup. We have the large hill in the middle of the battlefield and the 2 roads that skirt around the outside. The eastern side of the battlefield is all fields, with a large ploughed field at one side. The walls count as barricades, as do the hedgerows. And then on this side here, we have this small holding, which Montagu and Suffolk are basically fighting over. They're going to say who owns it. Each of these zones is a built-up area, and it's 1 order to move between them. So we can have 1 unit occupying here. It can then move to here for 1 order, and over to there, just like normal. If you are in those, it counts as built up. So you'll receive bonuses to your save. Both armies are starting off the board and will be moving on. What we'll do, we'll get deployed, or we'll put down the the men and where they're going to enter, and then we'll just quickly roll through what we've bought. Okay, so the East Anglian faction are led by John de la Pole, the 2nd Duke of Suffolk. He has a strategy rating of 8. And a combat bonus of +2. Now his rule is he's a loyal Yorkist, and as a brother-in-law of Edward IV, Suffolk would support the Yorkist regime through its many tribulations. However, he was never part of the regime's inner circle, but he was held in high favour. 1 unit in Suffolk's division may be given the elite 5+ rule. Now, the other East Anglian commander is the Earl of Essex, Earl Boucher, and he has a strategy rating of 8 as well, a combat bonus of +2. And because I haven't actually written any rules for him yet, he also can bring along a elite 5+ unit. Now, the Neville faction are led by John Neville, the Marquis of Montagu, Earl of Northumberland. He has a strategy rating of 8 and a combat bonus of +4. He was the only man who anyone believed might actually stand a chance against Edward IV in combat. His special rule is that he hates the Percys. However, as there are no Percys on the board, that's not going to come into play. The other Neville commander is Thomas Neville, the bastard of Falkenberg. He has a strategy rating of 8 and a combat bonus of +2, and his rule lets him bring along a unit of Calais veterans, which are in his battle. Now, the Calais veterans are they're not an elite unit, but they've got a few extra special rules that just make them drilled and more likely to follow orders. So those are the commanders. Both of us are using armies picked based on the simple force point system that I have in the campaign rules, and this is a 9 force point game. We've got 1 battle each of 6 force points and 1 battle each of 3. So that's how they stand. What we'll do, we'll basically just skip over and we will start turn 1. We'll roll see who goes first and we'll just crack on with it. Right, so that was a rather uneventful Neville first turn. So over here, John Neville has commanded on the light cavalry who are moving forward to take the hill, and then he failed his order rolls, and then he'd already used a re-roll. So all that's happened is that his army and his men have just moved on and taken position at the back here. They're all still in their marching column, and they're just trying to fan out. On the left, I decided that I wanted the Bastard of Falkenberg to move, basically get his men and move forward up here. So he brought on Sir Geoffrey Gate here, who's leading some men-at-arms. He got 1 move, and then he blundered. So the Calais veterans, who I wanted to basically move up and take that position, have drifted left over here, and then the handgunners have just come on as they're in column and taken position. So that was a very... I mean, they're on the board, but... that's it. So that is a very, very quick first Neville turn. So we'll go over now and we'll see what the Duke of Suffolk is going to do. Okay, so that's the end of the Duke of Suffolk's turn. Say hi, Robin. This is
hi.
He's here, come down from Ipswich for the day, for the game. What happened? Should we start over here on your left?
Over here, Duke of Suffolk, his small men-at-arms unit came on to protect him. Bill and Bo occupying the field, and the guys trying to move up the road, slow and steady, must be wet underfoot.
No, you've only got 3 units for the Duke of Suffolk, haven't you? Why is that? Because
despite being a duke, he was notoriously poor. After his dad was summarily executed and thrown off a boat, there was a turn of fortune, and he was notably poor. One of the times he went to London, he could only take 8 men-at-arms and was asked if he was really a duke. So,
so your leader's turned up with 3 units, and his supporter.
I was brought 6 or 7.
6 or 7 units with him. So you can see why Montagu thinks that Suffolk's a bit of an upstart.
Easy picking.
We should say as well, what's actually quite cool about this is that this is completely fictional, but this is really something that could have happened quite easily, because Montagu and Suffolk, they hate each other. Montagu's marriage is to one of Essex's men, so they probably don't like each other. Geoffrey Gate over here, he's from Essex. He doesn't like the Earl of Essex. So there's all these little quarrels. So it's very easy if you want to just create a little scenario or just a little backstory for your game. In the Wars of Roses is perfect for it. So over on your right flank, you've got the
my light cavalry. Sir Thomas Montgomery, who's the sheriff of Suffolk. He's obviously coming to lay down the law, as it were. And then Essex's cannon.
Essex, yeah, you've bought a cannon to proceedings. I haven't bought a cannon. So there's Essex at the back there.
And then Baron Berners, Essex's younger brother, leading his men-at-arms into the village to stop the upstart Midlanders.
Yeah, there you go. So they're coming in there. So it's cool, but unfortunately you failed the last roll, and because you you elected to not put your men in column, they haven't made that free move. So, but you've definitely made more advances than I have. However, I think, with the exception of your cannon, we might all bear inch. Can your cannon see anything? No. Okay. So that is the end of Suffolk turn 1. So we'll now go into Neville turn 2. Right, so nothing went to plan there, which is pretty typical. So, well, things got off to a better start, and John Neville, Lord Montagu, ordered his light cavalry to move up the hill and charge the upstarts on the other side. So they were successful, and who's this again? Which guy is this?
So Thomas Montgomery.
So he's countercharged, Thomas Montgomery, and we're going to be fighting a combat over there at the hill. So the scouts are effectively having a tussle at the top of the hill. I then wanted to move the unit that was formerly here, now represented by that red gem. And I wanted them to move down the field and take position to try and delay what's going to be coming down the road next turn. However, I blundered again, and they have now retreated off the board, meaning the rest of the battle can't move. They can come back on at that point. If they're not back on before the end of the game, they count towards victory points. So that's not great. So that was the end of Montagu's turn. And then over here, the bastard of Falkenberg decided he wanted to support the hand-to-hand combat that was happening, so he ordered Geoffrey Gate to go up there, and then he failed, and because the reroll had already been used, nothing moved, with the exception of the Calais veterans, who have the drilled special rule, which means they always get to execute one order, even on a failed roll. So I've moved them up to this side of the small holding, the village, so hopefully we're going to get some sort of house-to-house fighting in there against the Baron Burners over there. So there is no shooting because I have nothing in line formation that can shoot. So we're going to go straight to close combat. My unit of horse have charged, as have Robin's. So we both get our clash values. Now my unit is a full-size unit, a standard unit. Robin's is small. So I have a clash value of 7 and Robin has a clash value of 5. We both count as charging, so we are both hitting on freeze. 4 hits. Oh dear. Okay, and I have 7 coming back. Well, all of them. So, I'll just check what their save value is, but you're looking for 7 saves and I'm looking for 4. 7 saves of 6. 2. So you take 5 casualties, and I need 4 saves of 6. 1, so I take 3 casualties. Okay, so I caused 5 casualties while Robin caused 3, so that's enough to shake him, but regardless, I've won the combat by 2, so Robin is taking a break test, 2d6 minus 2. Yeah, that's bad. So, yeah, they're gone. they're gone.
Because it's 4 or less, isn't it?
Yeah, 4 or less, so they're gone, which means that my cavalry can make a sweeping advance if they want to, or they can reform. To be honest, I think I'm going to choose to reform because I'm sitting on that objective. So I think running off around the battlefield would probably not be a good plan right now. Okay, so I just chose to reform at the top of the hill. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a good point to be. I have a feeling they're probably going to get shot, but hopefully I'll be able to delay the enemy getting up here and I can get these men into position. So that is the end of Neville turn 2. I'm just biding my time. That's the, that's the thing. We're going to go over to the Duke of Suffolk turn 2. Okay, so there was a lot more movement from Suffolk. Where do you want to start, Robin?
Start
Should we
over
start
here,
with Suffolk himself?
Yeah, Suffolk's. So on the left is Bill and Bo moved up the field, ready to.
But hopefully,
Well, they can see Warwick's troops in the distance. They don't seem to be moving. The dust clouds settle.
There's just a lot of arguing going on over here.
Then close to the centre, just moving forward, just to menace the cavalry, so if they scare them off the hill without them.
You've got these guys here, Bill and Bo, and then you've got this small plucky unit of men at arms that are facing down the unit on the hill.
Then on Essex's side, Baron Berners is off on his own. He obviously smells blood. He's going through the village.
Yeah.
And then the handgunners snuck up the road through the trees.
They're very cool.
Just to try and
put some lead into the side here.
Yes, because now there's a clear line of sight, which was kindly granted by destroying my troops. And then in the middle, just forming a line with a cannon at the centre, ready to clear these cavalry.
Yep.
Right, so what do you want to fire with first?
Right, so we will start with the Suffolk's bows.
Firing at the men on the hill, they're going to take a lot of fire, aren't they?
As a prominent position.
Okay, so they have a shooting value of 3. You're firing over half range, because we just measured. So you are at -1, so you get 3 dice and you're hitting on 5s. Unfortunately, it's all misses. However, you've got the marksman rule, so you get to re-roll 1 dice.
Obviously the drizzle of Suffolk.
That's it. So, 1 hit. Okay, so I have a single save of 6. Nope, so another casualty for me. Okay, so who would you like to go with next?
Let's go with the bow from here.
Well, there's no one else you want to fire from.
No,
there's no one else in range. Suffolk's done, aren't they?
So move over to Essex.
Okay.
So in range. So that'd be 5s again.
5s again, yeah, and you can re-roll 1 for the marksman.
I don't need to. That's some break test, I believe, isn't it?
That is a break test. Okay, so that's first of all, right, you can take your 6s there. So that's 3 saves of 6 for the light cavalry.
Oh.
No, so that's 3 casualties, and I need to take a break test at the end of the shooting phase. Oh no, I need to take a break test now because you disordered me. So it's a break test straight away, which is passed. But 3 more casualties, so they've taken 7 now. Yep, they are shaken. So if the cannon and the handgunners can put more on them, then they're going to be taking a break test with a lot of modifiers at the end of the phase. So what are we going to go with now?
So the cannon at the light cavalry.
Cannon at the light cavalry. Okay, so you got a single shot at that range, and you're just looking at a 4 to hit. No, unfortunately that wasn't a 1. Damp squib. And now I assume it's going to be the handgunners. Yep, so the handgunners have a shooting value of 2. They are within 12, so they're going to be hitting on 4s. Okay, no, that's okay. That's absolutely fine because they cap saves. So that would have been that would have been quite brutal. I believe that's all just shooting
because they're behind the woods.
Okay, so that's the end of Suffolk turn 2. Robin's managed to come forward into some good positions. I really need to get my my units moving and into line so I can start repelling some of that.
Cavalry are very much looting at the moment.
They're up there. Although now they're up the top of the hill, they're shaken. They can't move off of there. They can move away, but they can't. That's it. They're going to sit there for the moment. So we'll go into Neville turn 3. Okay, so mixed bag from the Neville side again. This unit is now shaken, so they can move backwards or they can just kind of hold their ground. So they're just going to hold their ground up there. If I can get Montagu in there to remove a casualty, then that would be ideal. I decided to start down here with the Bastard of Falkenberg, and all he managed to do was send the Calais veterans to occupy that area of the village. So they're going to get to do a little bit of shooting. They now occupy that quarter there, facing off against Lord Berners, who is at the other end of the village. Over on this flank, Montagu managed to get his men moving a little bit. So over here, Henry Neville has formed a line with his men-at-arms to start pushing up the flank. This unit here of Bill and Beau just marched up. This unit didn't do anything. I didn't even try to bring James Harrington back onto the board, but he did manage to get his own household men moving up the table. However, they are not going to be in range just yet. They needed just that one more move. As Robin just said, it's kind of like Neville sort of realised they're actually going to have to fight. The Neville presence isn't enough to scare away the upstart Suffolk. So there's a view of the battlefield at the moment. So very much on the back foot on this side as far as positioning is concerned. However, the only thing I have to resolve in my third turn is some shooting here from the Calais veterans. So they are going to fire at Lord Berners. Now he counts as an obscured target because he's behind the wall. So I'm going to have 3 dice and I'm going to be hitting on 5s. Okay, so I'm looking for 5s. Ooh, 2 6s. So it's 2 dice. You're behind the wall, so you have 2 saves of 3 first of all. So 1 casualty, and you need to take a break test for the 6. So 2d6. There's no modifiers to it. They pass that with flying colours. So a single casualty. So Calais veterans. Finally done something. And that, everybody, is the end of my turn. And we'll go over now to Suffolk, turn 3. Okay, Robin, so what happened then?
So, over here, Baron Berners has charged through the village to
engage the
try
Calais
and clear
veterans.
The Calais veterans out.
Okay, so we're going to be fighting some close combat in the village.
House to house.
That'll be some wicked. Well, pigsty
Yeah.
to barn or something.
Not quite St Albans over there.
I don't think you can throw a chicken at someone to get a combat bonus. What's happened over here?
Handgunners have moved up just to shoot at the flanks
Of the cavalry?
Of the cavalry, and on the other side they've been pincered by the... And then, the Bow and Bill unit moving up, forming column to move quickly up the road, try and take that objective that you haven't moved towards so far.
You've just taken that centre objective quite cunningly because I'm shaken. Even though I'm on it, you now effectively have priority over it with an unshaken unit. However, hopefully I'll be able to do something here.
Hopefully I'll be clearing them off it with the rest of the shooting.
At the back here, you've moved up in line.
Yeah, just to form a shooting line ready for...
And then over here,
just
you've
taken...
So you've
taken
taken
the field
that.
with the objective.
Okay, so it's quite active. So we're into Suffolk shooting. So what do you want to start with?
The handgunners against the
light cavalry. Okay, so you are you're definitely a good range. So it's just 2 dice, and I can't remember in Hail Caesar if you get a bonus for being within 6 inches.
No.
So you are hitting on 4s. So it's 1 hit. I basically just don't get a save.
Yeah.
So that is another casualty.
Let's fire the cannon up the hill at the...
Cannon, so 1 dice hitting on a 4. No.
No.
I just remembered actually. We needed to add a reload marker to it for last turn. So we won't worry about that for last turn, but we will add a reload marker to it now. And basically, this isn't in the Hail Caesar, so we just put that face down next to it. This isn't in the Hail Caesar book, but one of the little rule adaptations is that it gets a reload marker, and you just need to do a normal order check to get rid of it. Certain cannons that fire bigger cannonballs, like the bombards and that, they get 4 of those reload markers, so you can't just keep pumping out cannon shot after cannon shot. Other shooting. What about the Bill and Bow at the back?
The Bill and Bow at the back, just up the hill.
So they'll be hitting on 5. So 3 dice hitting on 5s.
Along the range. 1 hit.
1 hit. You get to re-roll 1 though, because you've got marksman.
2 hits
and
a
break.
6.
So 2 hits and a break test. So 2 saves of 6. 1 save, 1 more casualty, and a break test means I'm going to be 2d6 minus 2. A 6 on ranged. I have to retreat disordered. So down the hill. So you forced me off of there. So I'm still shaken. I am now disordered, and I need to retreat down the hill. Oh, should I get closing fire?
Because they have a 3/0, so I'm assuming
yes,
that is...
yes, I should have got closing fire. We'll resolve that bit in just a second. So the cavalry have retreated back down the hill, so they're now shaken, disordered. But yes, over here, they probably should have got yes, they should have got closing fire. So I get 3d6, and I will just be hitting on 4s. No rerolls because these ones aren't marksmen. So hitting on 4s. It is actually -1 because that's black powder that I'm thinking of. So I'm hitting on 5s. It's 1 hit. And it's going to be a single save of 4 because you're men-at-arms. It's fine. I've just realised that, yeah, you're men-at-arms with your big burly armour, and I'm not wearing loads of armour. Yes. So that's going to be interesting. Excellent. So what do you want to fire with next? You've still got a unit of Bill and Bow
I think
here.
everything out of range now, as I've scared you off.
Yeah.
I don't think there's actually anything to fire at because you're...
That's it.
Tactically holding back.
I'm tactically Yeah, that's it. I'm tactically at the back. Okay then. So no, that's a good into the shooting phase. So we'll just go into the close combat. So you charged me with Baron Berners. So the men at arms have a combat value of 7. You charge, so you're +1. So you're going to be 7 dice hitting on 3s. You've also got the tough fighters rule, which lets you re-roll 1 dice. So you have 7 dice hitting on 3s. You can re-roll 1. Oh no.
No.
So 6 hits.
Just the 6 hits.
Just 6 hits. Okay, so the Calais veterans have 6 dice. They also have tough fighters. So I will be hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1 miss. I don't need to. So it's 6 hits apiece. So Robin, you need 6 saves of 4. And you're stubborn, so I think. So you get to re-roll 1 of those, I'm pretty sure. Alright, men at arms. Yep, you're stubborn, so you get to re-roll 1. So you're looking for 4s, re-rolling 1. So 2 casualties. I am looking for saves of 5. 3. So I took 3. So I have lost to combat by 1. So I'm going to be taking a break test. 2d6 minus 1. There we go. 9. That is going to be stand your ground. I do believe. 9. Infantry. Hold your ground. No, hold your ground without penalty. So that combat is going to roll on to next turn. But Robin, you are going to get a +1 modifier next turn because you won. I keep on meaning to make like a something in there, like a flag or something to put behind. So that combat is going to grind on next turn. And that is it. That is it. So we are now halfway through the game. Here's the view of the board. So the battle has been joined on the left. The centre is changed hands twice now. And over on this side, not a lot is happening.
They're still fresh.
They're still fresh. They're just so fresh. They're kind of sitting back. And the bastard of Falkenberg, I keep just calling him the bastard, hasn't done a thing. My handgunners are just sitting at the back here, not doing very much. So we will we'll go away and come back with Neville turn 4. Right. So I've now rolled a total of 5 double sixes.
5 blunders.
5 blunders, one of which then got re-rolled, and then I blundered again later anyway. So the men here clearly do not want to follow, the little Neville. They want Warwick. Warwick's not here, so they don't want to obey. But some things did happen. So Montagu's own personal guard of Bill and Bow have moved to the base of the hill. Going to be trying to force the unit up there off of the objective. Over on the right, we finally had some movements, and Bill and Bow have moved up and should be in range to give some fire on the guys skulking behind the hedge. And also Henry Neville has moved up in support to try and get round on that flank. Nothing happened with this unit here. They obviously have retreated disordered. They'll be undisordered at the end of this turn. I tried to move these and then failed, and also John Harrington is still off the board. Over here, I tried to do something decisive with the Bastard of Falkenberg, who ordered Geoffrey Gate forward to try and take the barricade and secure that objective. And I rolled a double 6 again. Fortunately, I got the result charged, so he kind of went forward one move anyway, but I still now have an unsupported unit of Calais veterans in the village, and my handgunners that he's brought over from the continent are just sitting there, doing nothing. So, yeah, that weren't great. I really don't. I mean, it's just a bit up in the air. So it's now my shooting. So I think we'll start with Montagu's shooting. So we'll start with the unit at the base of the hill. They're going to fire up the hill into this chap, and I've forgotten his name.
So John Wingfield.
That's it. Okay.
John Winfield is. So I can take a volley. So I'm within 12 inches, so I don't suffer -1. You're going to take. It's going to be 3 shots, hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1 miss. Okay, looking for 4s. It's 1 hit, I can reroll 1 miss. 2 hits, so you need 2 saves of 4, and you're stubborn, so you can reroll 1. Ooh. So 1 casualty. I was hoping I was going to get a disorder then, and you just roll really badly and they get up. You're right, just check the range, Robin. Yes. Are they within 18 of your unit behind hedge? So
yeah.
Okay, so over 12 though. So I'm going to get 3 shots. You're obscured, so it's going to be at -1. So I'm going to be hitting on 6s, which is what I want to see anyway, because I can reroll 1 miss for marksman. That'll do. So 1 hit, so you need 1 save of 4 because you're in cover, but you do need to take a break test. So you just want nice and high, don't roll a double 1. Okay, I was kind of hoping that that would push it, so no, I didn't. That is the end of my shooting. It's really not going well for Neville, so it's just into the combat here.
So the combat in the village is going to roll on. Berners won the last turn, so he gets to add 1. So he has 7 attacks hitting on 3s. The Calais veterans have 6 attacks hitting on 4s.
Okay, can reroll 1 for tough fighters. So
4 hits.
4 hits. The Calais veterans have 6 attacks hitting on 4s. They've also got tough fighters. 4 hits as well. You got foot side, so you are looking for 4 saves of 4, and you have stubborn, so you can reroll 1. Okay, so 2 casualties, and I need 4 saves of 5. 2, so it's 2 casualties apiece. So it is an out-and-out draw. No one was shaken at the start of the combat, so that is just going to roll on. There's no one in support. There is no benefit to either side for any kind of combat resolution. So it's just going to roll on into next turn. So 5 casualties apiece. So that's the end of Neville turn 4. The battle in the village rages on. Didn't quite succeed at what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get them off the hill. So we're just going to see where this goes. So we're back over to Robin for Suffolk turn 4. Okay, so quite a bit of stuff for you.
Yeah, over here, Essex's troops moving up the road still, not quite at the objective yet. And then in the middle, the cannon and the bill and bow just slowly moving up the hill.
Yep, so they're coming up there. Hasn't reloaded, so
No,
it's
so
not
it's
going to be
still-
firing this time. Of course, nothing happened
still
in there.
combat. And then Suffolk just forming a line across the 2 objectives and the road.
And the road, and then with them in there. So we're going to have fire coming from there, fire coming from there, fire coming from there, fire coming from there.
So, yeah, it's good. So, Suffolk is definitely on the on the attack. Where do you want to start shooting? Who do you want to start
with Essex's.
Essex's
So
lot.
that's just going to be the handgunners, I think.
So it's just going to be the handgunners. So the handgunners have a. So it's 18.
So that'll be at the.
So go.
Cavalry,
So it could be yes. It's
Yes, it'll be at
a bit of the cavalry. So you might actually see them off. So it's going to be 2 dice over half range. So you're going to be hitting on 5s.
There's a 6.
There's a 6. So I don't get to save. So it's 1 automatic casualty, and I need to take a break test. That is going to put me 1 over my stamina. So it's 2d6 minus 1. That is a 8. So they're staying where they are.
Bows at the. Just down the hill.
Is this Essex's lot? Are they?
Yeah, it's everything for Essex because they're out of.
They're at range 18, yeah?
Yeah,
I should think they
yeah,
are, aren't they?
yeah.
I hope you can get a volley. Okay, so this is Suffolk's lot. So
This unit here first.
Yeah.
What are they going to fire at?
They're going to.
Oh, it has to be these. Yep, you're within 12 inches, so it's going to be 3 dice hitting on 4s, and you get to reroll 1. Oh my god! So we're taking a break test. I need 3 saves of 4. Okay, so it's 2 casualties and a break test. So I'm not over my stamina limit. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Oh no, that's double 1.
They won.
They're 1s.
I think, but that. Oh yeah.
They're 1s.
Oh.
So I don't know if I. No, they're 1s. So I don't know if I've been counting them as 6s up to this
there's
point.
definitely been 6s on there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they're gone. They're gone.
Oh.
I'm sure they're gone. Hang on a second. Hang on. So a result of 1 means that the unit breaks if it has suffered any casualties. It's just suffered 2 casualties. Or did I roll saves? I've completely lost.
Yeah.
I did. Okay, damn it. So yeah, they're gone. Miller, these dice are rubbish. These dice were given to me by Miller, and all I've rolled is double 6s on command orders, and now I've just done double 1 on a break test. Okay, so after that disaster, who are they shooting at in the field?
Straight ahead at the.
Straight ahead.
Bow advancing towards.
So they're going to be over half range, so it's going to be -1. So you're going to have 3 shots hitting on 5s. Oh my god! You can re-roll 1. Okay,
Just
so
the
2 saves of 4. 1 save, 1 casualty, and a break test. 7, I believe, is fine. Hold your ground without penalty. So 1 casualty. As Robin has just pointed out, there's now a rather large hole in my line with just the Earl of Northumberland, Lord Montagu, blocking it. So that's not great. But that's the end of his shooting. So close combat, and the only combat we have is this ongoing combat over here. Now, it was a draw last turn, so we're both going to be hitting on 4s. Robin has 7 dice, re-rolling 1. I have 6 dice, re-rolling 1. So 7 dice, hitting on 4s. Re-rolling 1.
Just
So
3.
3 hits. Okay, come on. Hitting on 4s. Re-rolling 1. Right, so they're 1s. They're 1s, not 6s. Right, so I got 3 hits. So 3 on 3. So Robin, you are saving 3 dice, needing 4s, re-rolling 1. Oh no.
None required.
And I have 3 dice, needing 5s. So I take 2 casualties. I have lost to combat.
Okay, so I've lost to combat, and I am 1 casualty in excess of my stamina. So I'm going to be taking a break test, and it's 2d6. Although actually the excess casualty doesn't count. It's just 2d6 minus 2, because that was the difference in score. So 2d6 minus 2. 6. Is that a retreat disordered?
Combat, hold your ground without penalty.
Okay, that's fine. All right, and you won the last round, so you'll be getting +1 in the next round. Okay, so there we are. That is the end of Suffolk turn 4. The Neville line is breaking, and I need to do something sharpish. So we'll go into Neville turn 5. Okay, so as Robin just said, it was actually fairly dynamic for the for the Neville army by the standard of what's been happening. So over here there is still a bit of a gap, but on my right flank, my Bill and Bow have advanced all the way. Ideally, would have liked them to charge, but they're going to be loosing some arrows. Henry Neville is moving and sort of making gains towards the centre, so we'll just have to see what happens there. John Harrington has finally managed to get his men in order, and they have returned. This unit formed into line, so hopefully they will actually be able to do some shooting next turn. Over here, Lord Montagu joined his unit of light cavalry to try and remove a casualty, but unfortunately he didn't succeed. So he's somewhat exposed now, because if that unit gets destroyed, we have to roll to see what happens to him. Over here, I wanted these handgunners to move in and occupy this area of the village, or the small holding. They failed. Geoffrey Gate has moved up and is occupying that objective and the barricade against the troops that are coming forwards. And over here, these handgunners are advancing as well, so they might actually get something done. I decided not to have the Bastard of Falkenberg join his unit over there, because I can't risk having two commanders so exposed so soon. So we'll go into shooting, and I think we'll just start over here. In fact, this is where there's going to be the only shooting, looking at it. We might try. And this unit is going... Oh, I have to see who's nearer, actually. No, it's going to be... So there we go. So the unit in the field. So I'm going to get 3 dice. And we're hitting on 5s because they're behind cover. And I'm going to be re-rolling 1 miss. Okay, so hitting on 5s, re-rolling 1 miss. That's a 6. So 1 hit. So you need 1 save of 4. Oh. No, so 1 casualty and then a break test. A 7 to range attacks, I believe, is you stand your ground, so they're not going anywhere. So a casualty, a respectable casualty. That is all of my shooting, because these archers at the back here are just 2 inches out of range, which is enough to... It's not like it's half an inch and can just go, oh no, it's fine, no, it's too much. So it's the combat over here. Now, Robin won the last combat, so he's going to get +1, so it's 7 dice hitting on 3s. I, however, get 6 dice, and I'm hitting on 5s now because my unit is shaken. There we go, so hitting on 3s, and you can re-roll 1. That's every single one of them.
7 hits.
I have 6 dice, and I am hitting on 5s. Those are not 6s. Yeah. Damn it. I do have the tough fighters rule, so I will re-roll that one. So 2 hits. So I need 7 saves of 5 with no... Oh, this could be bad. If I fail 6 of these, the unit is shattered. So 1, 2... Oh, 5. So I am on 11. 11, so I've lost by 5 at the minute. You need 2 saves. You made both.
Yeah.
So I am 2D... I've lost by 5. I'm 2d6 minus 5. 9 minus 5 is 4. That's it. The Calais veterans have finally broken. So Robin has the choice now. His unit can move in to occupy that position if they want. Oh, how many casualties did you take? Just 1?
Yeah, so that puts me
so
on.
you're shaken, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you can't. So they stay where they are.
No, I saved both. I saved both. No.
Oh, you did save both. Yeah. No, you saved both. I see. It's just wishful thinking. So yes, you can. So my unit is broken. So your unit can move in there to occupy it. So let me just put the camera down, and I'll remove all of my men. Okay. So he's chosen not to move in. He's just going to hold his ground there, which is interesting. But that's the end of my turn. So it's really not going very well. Robin holds the objective at the top. And on the side, I have 1 here. So currently, including the fact that he's destroyed 2 units, Robin is well in the lead. So I need him to basically mess up really, really badly now on his turn, and all his troops to leave the board. So we'll get to that straight away. This will be Suffolk turn 5. Right, okay, so not a lot of movement, but I'll let Robin explain what's going on. So
all we've done is form a nice line to stop the Nevilles intruding any further.
So let's just start down this line. So over here we have Suffolk's men.
Just holding the objectives.
Suffolk's men. So they got that objective, then they have the centre objective.
And Essex's men moved up to fill the gap. And we just got a nice line across the table all the way into the village with Baron Berners.
Who's
licking his wounds in the village. He's not too keen to charge into the hang.
So as you can see from here, it's quite a push. So to get him off those objectives is going to be fairly hard. So we're just going to shooting. So which lord do you want to go with first for shooting?
I will start with Essex.
Okay, and who do you want to fire with first?
Start with the handgunners.
Handgunners at Geoffrey Gate.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're within 12 inches, so you've got to worry about that. So you're going to get -1 for the unit, so you're going to be hitting on 5s. Hitting on 5s. Oh no. Okay, so save is capped at 5 for the handgunners, so I need 1 save of 5. Nope, so you take a casualty, and I am on a break test. So they're absolutely fine, thank God for that.
And then the bill and bow will also...
Okay, so again, 12 inches, no problem. So it's 3d6. You're hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1 for marksman. Ooh. Okay, so I need 2 saves of 4. That's not good.
2 fails.
I've got stubborn, so I get the re-roll. Nope. No, so 2 more casualties.
Advancing in the field.
Okay, so again, it's going to be 3d6. You're hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1. 1 hit, 1 save of 5.
No.
That's not, no. God damn it. And there we go, so they've lost 1 there.
And then these bill and bow.
At them as well. So for this one, no, because they're going up the right, so that wall isn't protected. They're not using it as a defended obstacle. So it's just 4s, re-rolling 1. And there is the 6. I need 2 saves of 5 and then a break test. No. Very much no. And then the break test. They're fine. So that's the end of the shooting, and there's no close combat to speak of. It's been it's definitely been a land grab, this game. It's an objective game. It'll go into my turn 6. Let's see what's going to happen. Right, so there was definitely a bit more movement this time on the part of the Nevilles. So we'll start with the Bastard of Falkenberg, who's done quite a bit this turn. So Geoffrey Gate, who's under his command, used his initiative order and charged up the hill into Fitzwalter, or the ghost of Fitzwalter, whichever one it is, taking his casualties with him. Didn't suffer anything from closing fire. Did have to test because he potentially got disordered, but shrugged it off. The Bastard of Falkenberg has joined him because I need to make a big push in the middle. Over on this side, the handgunners have moved in and occupied one sector of the small holdings. I'm hopefully going to be able to put some fire into Baron Berners, and as he's already taken 5 casualties, potentially be able to see him off. Annoyingly, these guys here didn't quite get enough to be able to even just form a line, so they won't be doing anything. The horses are staying there and not doing very much. Over on this side, Montagu has brought all of his men into a firing line as well, and the name of the game is now put as many arrows as we can up the hill and hope that someone retreats or gets disordered. I did want this unit over here to charge the unit in the field because I'm just taking so many casualties there, but I just couldn't get enough. So that's it. We are into the shooting. So I think we'll start with the Bastard of Falkenberg. We'll start with the handgunners over here. So the first time they're going to shoot is in the last turn of the game. So they're going to get 2 dice, and that's it. They're hitting on 4s. Hitting on 4s. 1 hit. 1 save of 5.
Oh.
No, so that is enough to be shaken, but that's unfortunately not enough for me to force a break test. Right, so next, my unit here is going to fire at the small unit of men-at-arms, who are the ones holding the objective at the top of the hill. I'm over 12 inches away, so it's going to be 3 dice hitting on 5s, re-rolling a single miss. Or all of the misses. And that's not a 6, that's a 1. The other unit that's next to them is going to do exactly the same. So they're going to fire up the hill, I imagine. Let's see which one is nearer, actually. Same, then I'll fire at the ones who are sitting on the objective. I'm going to be hitting on 5s. Every time I see that rose come up, I get excited. And then I remember it's a 1. Okay, this isn't the arrow storm, result I thought it was going to be. Over here, they're going to fire at your guys in the hedge. Now, I'm not at 12 inch. I'm within 12 inches, so it's just the -1 from the hedge. So I'm hitting on 5s as well, re-rolling 1. Fantastic. So I actually finally got a hit. 2 hits. So you need 2 saves of 4. Oh, come on. Well done. That is all of my shooting. So it's just into close combat.
Okay, so the big combat here from Geoffrey Gate on my side. So Geoffrey Gate has charged. He has 7 attacks. He's also accompanied by the Bastard of Falkenberg, which gives him another 2 attacks. So I've got 9 attacks, and because I charged, I'm hitting on 3s. Lord Fitzwalter is fighting back with 6 attacks, hitting on 4s. So I really need this to come up. And just remember, the roses are bad. 3s. And I reroll 1 because I'm a tough fighter. And I'll reroll that one. 7 hits. 6 hits coming back, needing 4s.
Oh.
2.
Oh. Yeah.
So I need 2 saves of 4, re-rolling 1. Okay, so 1 casualty for Geoffrey Gate. And you need 7 saves of 5. 1. So 6 casualties.
Straight onto shaking.
Okay, so I did 6 casualties on Robin's unit. He's done 1 casualty on mine. That means I've won the combat by 5. So he's testing his leadership. That's not the right. He's testing a break test. 2d6 -5. Yeah, there.
1 is bad.
1 is bad. Yeah, one is bad. The ghost of Fitzwalter is gone. So yeah, he's the guy who died, wasn't he? Basically naked with an axe.
Yeah,
came out his tent to stop the squabble. What that does mean is because I've charged, I can make a sweeping advance. So my unit can make a sweeping advance. It can make 2 moves. So it has done so. But before we do that, we need to see what happened to the Bastard of Falkenberg. So he has a combat bonus of +2. Even though he won, he still has to roll because it's quite possible that he was a casualty in the fighting. So we roll 2d6. We add his combat bonus, and if it's over 12, then something's happened to him. So he gets +2. 8, no, +2 is 10, so he was fine. But now they've made the sweeping advance, they become disordered on a 4, 5, or 6 as part of the charge. Yep, so as they come charging up the hill, they are disordered. All that means, because I'm just going to turn them round to show that, all that means is that they're not going to get that +1 bonus from charging. So they get a +1 bonus from charging normally, they get a -1 for being disordered. So it's going to be 9 attacks hitting on 4s. Okay, so I get 9 dice, and I am hitting on 4s because I don't get the bonus from charging. I can reroll 1. 6 hits. Robin has to allocate at least half of his dice to the front, so they can only fight to the side. How many attacks does a small unit of men-at-arms get? Men-at-arms, it's a heavy infantry, so it will be -2, so it'll be 5.
So round up or down?
5. So it'll be at least up. I think you round up. Okay, we can't quite find it, so we're gonna round up because that's what it normally is. So Robin can only put 2 attacks back, and they are hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1 for tough fighters. Okay, don't need to. 2. So I need 2 saves of 4. Rerolling 1. Absolutely fine. You need 6 saves of 4. Rerolling 1. But you're -1. Oh no, that -1 was to your hit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So there's no save, nothing to your morale. Oh, okay. Okay, so 1. So you've lost a... Oh, first of all, before we do that, this is now where I'm meant to test to see if anything's happened to Commander. No, he's fine. So now you suffer a break test. It's 2d6 -1 because you lost a combat by 1. Oh dear.
4's not good.
4 is... I think 4 is... I think they're off. They break...
They give ground.
They give ground away from the enemy, so you're going to be going down that hill realistically. You're not going to go towards them, are they?
No,
it's going to... Yeah, it's going to go there. So how was it? Give ground?
It just says give ground.
So it'll just be 1 full move normally, unless you can't make it, in which case you have to do 2 full moves.
I assume they stay facing.
They stay facing. You just you turn 1 round to show they're disordered. That's it. Wow. Okay. So that was.
So that's at the start of the turn. You can use delete, isn't it? To...
Yep. So if you can use that elite rule at the start of the turn to remove that disorder, then they can do. Otherwise, they won't be doing much next turn. That is the end of the Neville turn. That's quite interesting. Robin's going to have to get me off of that objective, basically, and we'll see what happens. So we're going to Suffolk turn 6. Okay, so Robin, why don't you? Because you haven't. Well, what was your plan? First of all, they're not disordered anymore.
They're not disordered anymore, but they weren't going to charge because the plan was the handgunners were going to move around to give fire into the rear, and then potentially the bow and billmen were going to form a line and again fire into the rear with some withering fire and drive you off the objective, probably leaving me to win the game. My first bad order roll. They end up not moving. No one in Essex does anything apart from the cannon's reloaded at least.
The cannon's reloaded. It could all come down to the cannon.
So it could be a bouncing cannonball up the hill that takes out.
And unfortunately over here, Lord Berners couldn't make an initiative move into the handgunners because he's shaken, so he can't charge. So, well, Suffolk shooting, where do you want to start?
I'll do Essex's because I've got...
Essex?
I'll do the cannon.
Okay, you're going to do the cannon. Now, is the cannon within 6? Might just be out.
Just out, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so it's still just 1 dice, and you're going to be hitting on a 4. Yep, I am saving, that's going to be -2, so I'm saving on a 6. Nope, and, right. So that's 1 more casualty on them. Where do you want to go with next?
So, it's the closest unit...
You could still throw the handgunners.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Who would it be?
I mean, because they're not a clear target, you don't have to shoot. But you're still getting a victory point for them, whether they're destroyed or not. So you're getting a point for these guys. I know this is a bit gamey, but you're still getting a point for them whether they're there or not, whereas they haven't got anything on them.
But they did destroy my cavalry, so I'm going to shoot them.
Okay, you're just over... Are you over 12?
I'm over 12, yeah.
You're over 12, so it's going to be 5s to hit. Oh, 1, and that's going to be a break test. So I don't get to save. And I'm 2d6 -1 on a break test. Oh, they're off. They're gone.
Over here?
Yeah.
Because I think if I can drive them off, that'll be enough to win. I think.
Okay.
Maybe.
Right, so they're firing at the unit there. Yep. So you are going to get 3 dice, hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1 miss. Okay, so it's 1 hit, 1 save of 5 for the bill and bow. That's a 1, so it's not, so it's a casualty on them. Not quite enough to shake them, they've still got 1 point of stamina left.
So that just leaves...
that unit there.
They're within 12.
Within 12, so you need 4, 3 4s.
Essentially it. Oh.
1 reroll.
Hey.
1, that's so a save and then a break test. So no, so it's a casualty. So they're shaken. 4 on a range is... They retreat disordered backwards. So they're going to be going back twice because they won't be able to form there. Is that it? There's no combat. Right. So what we shall do, we shall go away. We shall tot up the points. And then we'll come back to you and let you know what's happened. Okay, so here are the final positions. So, to tot everything up, the central objective is owned by the Nevilles. The Bastard of Falkenberg and Geoffrey Gate got their act together and led an onslaught up the hill, chasing away Suffolk's retainers. This objective has no one owning it. This objective over here is owned by Suffolk. So, the Nevilles have 4 points for that one. And Robin, how many of your units have I destroyed or shaken?
2 destroyed, and then Baron Berners over there
is shaken.
Shaken in the...
So the Nevilles end on 7 points. Now, Duke of Suffolk owns that objective there for 1 point, and Robin has destroyed 3 units for 4 points and has shaken another one here for 5. So the end result is 7 points to the Nevilles and 5 to Suffolk. I'm not entirely sure the Nevilles deserved the win there. It kind of actually seems to go along with the Neville attitude, which is they came along thinking they could stamp their authority down and take some land away. And the Duke of Suffolk, though, made his point very well. But what do you think? Where do you think? Well, obviously, I know when the game changed, but what do you think about the flow of the game?
Yeah, no, really good. It's quick, but not simple, but not too complicated. So modifiers picked up really well. It's just playing tactics rather than playing rules.
That's it. Well, this game was definitely a more objective maneuver-based game. I mean, if you've been watching the report, then you've probably realised, there wasn't a lot of casualties until the last couple of turns because we were manoeuvring our armies well. Robin was manoeuvring his army. My army was, I was just trying to get it back on the board.
Until the critical moment at the end when they did not want to manoeuvre.
No, that was it. You come down to those pesky hang-ons. But I've got to say, your handgunners did amazingly well. Yeah. If you had to pick an MVP for your side, what would it be?
It would probably be the handgunners. They drove off the light cavalry, well, technically twice. They drove them back down the hill and then finished them off. They
did. I can't even pick an MVP for over here because I don't think they deserve it. I've got to say that if I was reading about this historically, I definitely would the wrong side. Probably won, but it's just one of those things. Definitely after this, the Duke of Suffolk has probably gone back to his brother-in-law Edward, and if he could get his face out of the food or whatever it is that he's up to, making him take note. It's important to note at this point as well, but this is where the Nevilles are starting to fall out of favour with Edward because of his choice of wife. However, Montagu, who was my commander, was still quite in favour. It's his brother Warwick who fell out with him, and I don't know, maybe we could do something. We've been talking about maybe raiding Warwick's piggy bank, setting up some kind of wagon train and having a look at that. But no, it was a different battle. You say is that the first time you've done Hail Caesar?
Yeah, first time I played Hail Caesar.
That's it. Obviously, the thing is, you're playing with the adaptation that we've used. But I should say as well, if anybody wants the adaptation, the army lists that we were using today and that we've used in the game before, this one here, then you can get it from me. You can just give me an email and I'll send it to you, or you can just grab it on the Plastic Crack Podcast Facebook group. It's in the download section, but I'm going to be adding to it. So these are just rules suggested. They're nothing. It's absolutely 100% unofficial and unendorsed by anybody, but I'm happy to change things and play test things out. Maybe have some other ideas. We've been talking about overhead shots and firing the longbows to get the arrow storms going. But that's it. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you all again soon. And yeah, sorry about the mishap with the dice. When I'm editing this, I'll find out how bad it actually was and how many times I counted ones as sixes or sixes as ones, whatever it is. But in the meantime, I'll say goodbye, and we will see you all again soon. So thank you very much. Take care.